good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, it's How to Open iOS. My name's Jade, and we're going to be taking a look at FuncBud today by Cem Olcay. So get your calculators ready. We're going to make some tuning. We'll get my microphone sorted out, yeah? What's going on? Hey, here we are. I got no headphones on for some reason today. Hope you're all doing well. Look at me, I'm still setting up. This is a first. You get to see behind the scenes of what goes on. All right, so what happened was, let me explain. You can hear me, can you? Let me make sure the volume's good. So normally I have my headset on, and what happened was I had my headset on and I forgot to connect this down the back of my pants. So let me connect this. This is a first. We'll turn it on. Good God. Should be on now. Hey, now we got two vocals. All right, where are my headphones? I had to rip my headphones off. Yeah, you can hear me because I got the second microphone. Luckily, I got two microphones. This one, but this is one I use daily. So now we can come back to this microphone. Welcome to the show. What's going on? I forgot to connect the thing because I was too busy sitting in Clubhouse talking crap with Russ and Kurt. I'm Jade. This is How to Open iOS. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're taking a look at FuncBud by Cem Olcay, who's here in the chat. G'day, g'day, g'day. Let's cover this stuff. If you'd like to become a Wart Warrior, you can do so by clicking the join button down below for $1 a month. It does help out the channel. We do custom emojis and all that kind of stuff. And there'll be more rants with me coming up on the membership channel very, very soon. Boom, done. Okay, am I sorted? I'm not really. Leela, hello. Great show, Leela. Leela, every Rise of Dark Leela kicks off every week, US time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before this very show. So go and subscribe to her. And she also does app reviews. She does, so Monday's her show where she takes a look at a musical app. Tuesday's her show where she takes a look at video. And Wednesday, she does a live performance, and you should go and check her out. Mateus is in the house. Thomas is banging the links as usual. Thank you, Thomas, very much. So there's a link to become a member. There's Patreon, and you can send stickers and all that kind of stuff if you want to help out the channel. Boom, platypussies here. Perpetual platypussy. Audible's in the house. We've got Cem, the developer of today's app. We love when Cem's here. He's a big supporter of this channel. Thank you for that. I hope you got my email that I sent you yesterday or the day before. Who else do I see who's in here? Let me scroll up and make sure. Arthur, g'day. Hope you're doing well, Arthur. Good to see you. And I think I've got most of you. I know Russ is hiding around in the chat as well. He likes it when I say hello to him and he doesn't want to chat because that's what we do here. And there's Cem. Boom. Cem. All right. Now, are you ready, mathematicians? Are you ready? Have you got your calculators ready? Because we're going to be doing some maths today. You know, we're not really doing some maths. It's all an illusion. Oh, well, thanks, Audible. That's nice of you. Send a sticker. Thank you very much. Cheers. Tosser. All right, before we jump in, so Walk With Me is planned for this week. I'm heading out. I'm not telling you when because guess what? There are some weirdos on the internet who might want to go and meet me there and punch me up. So I'm not telling you when I'm going to do it or where I'm going, but Walk With Me is planned for this week. Very excited where I'm going this week. Really, really cool. It's going to be spooky. And there's that. All right. What are we doing? Is there anything else I need to catch up on? I don't think so. We're just going to dive into the Beat community. Get over here. Boom. Beatcommunity.com. You should go and sign up for it. There's a link in the description. There it is, beatcommunity.com. You open it up on your iOS device, click here, and then add it to your favorites. And then every day you can open it up and see what's new on iOS and all that jazz, desktop stuff, samples and expansion. We continue on with Imaginando's sale that they have going on. It looks like Visual Synthesizer VS is still on sale, but I think it won't be for long. And I do believe they're putting BAM on sale next. I think that's what I heard anyway. Vivid Shaper is currently on offer. OSC's big fucking meters is a half price sale. Boom. We're looking at this tomorrow. The Dead Kitty from Aurora DSP, a nice British metal pedal. It's very nice. Music Kraken's been updated. 4 Pockets have apps on sale. Cem Olcay releases FuncBud. And all that stuff. What's on sale? Let's jump over here. Visual Synthesizer, as you can see, VS is down from $11.99 to $3.99. Vivid Shaper's got about $4 off. Vivid Tracker's on sale. Blease Slow Machine. BAM is already on sale. I do believe it's the in-app stuff that's on sale. Yeah, I think. Yeah, VS today, then BAM tomorrow. So, Cubasis on sale, Rhino on sale, Saga Synth still on sale. Good stuff. Today we are taking a look at FuncBud, another in the series of Bud apps from Cem. We love Cem's apps. So generative apps for the most part that all have, like BrainBud can connect them all. If you go back through and just type in Jade, Starr and Bud, I really should just put them all in a playlist. I'll try and do that. Try and remember to do that. So this is a generative sequencer that runs off calculations. And don't worry, it's not too taxing. It's not going to melt your brain with stuff like that. Because for the most part, Western scales only have 7 notes in them. So, you know, don't get freaked out. The best part about FuncBud, what I love about it, is you can have a lot of fun with it. And that's the most important thing about making music. It is $5.99. You can always find out more by clicking the right link and heading over to keybudapp.com, which is Cem's website over here. And you can see FuncBud is featured over here at the moment. Yes, build your math functions. Look at all this. You can look at all these equations. I haven't made anything that complicated yet, but maybe we'll try today. So it's AUv3, standalone as well, so you can send it out to like a external keyboard or stuff like that. Let's bounce over to my project that I have set up. Where are we? Over here. La 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 da da. And FuncBud. Yes, that's what it is. It is a FuncBud. Let's hit play and make some music. Hello. All right. So as you can see now, you saw me opening this little thing down here, which is BrainBud, which I've got connected to all of these FuncBuds, which I can change the key, I can change the scale at any time, and I can set patterns down here to come back and play whatever I damn well like. Yes, indeed, I surely can. Let's close this out, jump in and have a look at how this thing works. You'll have to follow along. Are you ready to follow along? Have you got your brains connected this morning? We're just going to open a piano tech. Keep it nice and simple. And a FuncBud. I remember when Cem sent me this, I was like, FuncBud? Ooh, it's going to be something funky. And I was like, what? I have to use my mind. Jeez. My mind? No. Not my mind. So, hey, Semtex. So we've got a FuncBud open. Now remember, all of these Bud apps, they don't generate sound. They don't generate noise. They just create MIDI notes that you need to send to another instrument. Yeah, so that's why we're opening this as a MIDI controller over here. And I need to connect this now to an instrument like this piano. So we're going to send the MIDI out from here to the piano. See, it's already connected, ready to go. So now I'll be able to send notes to this piano. When you load it up for the first time, you will have a bunch of functions here ready to go. So you can just hit play and it'll start making sound. Okay, good stuff. Now you'll see over here we have all of these functions, these equations over here that you can set, and you can set the speed and the repeats and all this kind of stuff. Before I kick off and get into it, I just want to say, see this toolbar up the top here? I love this. This is one of my favorite bits of the whole app. I wish this was in every one of your apps, Cem. Instead of having to go over to settings, like most of them, and go over and do the, change the settings over here, the scale and everything. If this was at the top of everyone, I'd be super. Is there a way you can do that? Because just having access to change the scale and the key quickly and all that, that's obviously it wouldn't work for all of them because not all of them are exactly the same. But there are definitely some apps that you have where this would be really beneficial instead of going over here and changing the scale and all that stuff. So that's just my 2 cents. So this is where you create your functions or your equations, whatever you call them, and they will play in order. You can change the order as well. We'll get to all of that. Let's just start off and clear all of this out. So there's a clear button down the bottom here, and you can just delete. If you click it, it'll say sure, yes, and that'll clear all of them in one go, and you're ready to go. Happiness. So let's talk about, let's go through the calculator. So first, where to start? I've got professional help on this work with a great designer. Yes. All right. Well, that's cool. So we're going to go down here. Here's where your functions are. So this is your calculator. Now, before I get into it, don't get freaked out. It's not a super complicated calculator. This isn't a super scientific calculator by any stretch. We've got some parentheses, we've got an X, we've got an A, we've got squared, we got, roots, we've got sigma, and we've got a pi. And all the rest is pretty normal stuff. So, you 0 to 9, plus, minus, times, and divide. That's pretty much parentheses, yes, or brackets. And this is where you create your functions or your equations. Let's start off first with the A and X. I want to start off with A because it's important. If I just choose an A and hit done, that is our first one ready to go. Now, if I hit play, it's just repeatedly playing C4. You can see, you know what note it's playing because it puts it right in the center. So it's just repeating C4. Now let's go up here to our top bar here. So A represents the root note of the key and the scale that you've set. It will always be that. It will always be that. So no matter what happens, what other equations you have down here that it goes through the list, as soon as it gets back to A, it will always be that root note, whatever that root note is. Now you can have a scale, so you can choose your scales. You can have like an F scale, an F F sharp scale, key, sorry, And you can choose this. So as usual with all of Cem's apps, heaps of scales, right? Heaps and heaps of scales. We'll just leave it on a major for now. But you can change the root note, so you don't have to start on the root note. You can go anywhere you want. I could start on an E sharp 3, totally up to me. But when I hit play with an A, it's always going to be that root note that you've selected here, no matter what, always, right? So let's just go back and keep it simple for everyone, and we'll stick to just a C for now. And we'll keep this at a C. So now there are multiple ways you can change this. You can just drag if you want up and down and they will change. Or you can click on them, click on each individual one like so and do that. So we'll just go to a C4, keep it simple. Boom, C4, get it? Boom, explosive. And you can change the minimum and maximum octave. All right, so this will play a note, so the notes that it will be played will be between octave 2 to 5. You can add repeats in here too. So I can add let's just add 5 repeats. Doesn't matter anyway, because it's just repeating at this point. So it's going to stay there. Let's talk about X, our next function. So let's go down to the bottom here and put in an X. Now an X is the root note also, okay? So it plays the root note. But what X does is if it goes through the list of functions and it comes back to X, it won't play the root note. It'll play the last note. It'll go from the last note that it heard. So it's different than A, which will always be the root note, where X will change. And I can show you this, right, by removing A, keeping X here, and then we'll make another equation of just like, I don't know, we'll do 4 minus 2. Now, if we hit play, it's probably not a good example. Let's add in something else. So in fact, let's minus all these and give you a better understanding of what X will do. So if I choose X and say +1, X will be the root note to start off with, but because it has a +1, it will play the next note from C, which will be D. But notice this, how it's playing through the entire scale? Because it's on repeat. Now, why is it doing that? Why is it going and playing each note? Because it's saying X +1 is C, which means +1 will be D, and then every time it comes back on itself, play the next note, play the next note, play the next note, right? So you can see it going through the entire scale. Let's slow it down. So you can slow the rate down. Let's bring it down to like a quarter. G, E, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you just wanted to play through a scale, X +1 on repeat by itself will do that. If we change the scale now, it's going to play the harmonic minor of C and just repeat through the scale. But where it gets interesting is if we moved to and add something else in here. So let's, now remembering that A will always be the root. Now, if we add in here, say, what's cool down here, we have a library of stuff that you can just go to straight away. If we go and do an X +2, this is what's going to happen here. So it's going to say X, this is how it's going to kick off. Let me explain. X +1 will be C plus 1 will be D, and then it'll move down to this one, and because X represents the last note, which will be D, it will then play D here plus 2, D, E, F. And then F will come back here, and because X is up here, it will remember F and then play 1, G. Is that right? Am I getting it right? See? And this is where you are getting I'm going to change this back to a major. Should I do it? No. What's also fun is if I swipe this way, I'll do it with my finger, it will mute out this. So now if we hit play, you can actually mute it. You can mute out the notes from being played. I'll just make sure I've got everything set over here. Detect avoid loops. I'm going to turn that. We'll come to that soon. And in our settings here, we can enable a calculation on muted functions, or we can turn it off. So when it gets to the muted note, it doesn't take it into consideration. Why is it still playing it? Am I doing something wrong there? There we go. That's it. You have to click on it. So when you bring it in, like this, scroll, you have to click on it to mute it. So if I come in here and then tap it, and this is how you create rests. Now I can come into the settings and we can say enable calculation on muted functions. So it's still moving forward, taking the note into consideration, but it's not playing it. And again, the variation we can change. We can change our root note and we can change our minimum and maximum octave. So we can bring this up to like a 4 and it's going to stay within 4 and 5. So hopefully you're starting to see the possibilities by putting in, let's unmute this, of putting in, now you can repeat as well. So if we go in here to our repeats, for example, I could see how we've got X is 1. So basically, let's have a reminder. X would be C, it kicks off at C, plus 1 will be D. If I put in 6 repeats here, let's see what happens. So initially it's going to play through that scale and then it's going to come back, play this one note here, which will be the last note of the 6 repeats and then come back. So with the repeats, you can come in here and, you know, really create some cool generative things. Now, at the same time, me explaining all of this, right, means shit because you can just put in random equations and create some random generative stuff. You don't have to sit here and I can just go in right now and just put in some bullshit calculation and it'll still be fun. You know? Let's do 5 minus 3 divided by 7. Doesn't really matter. Or you can get really anal about this and try and work out this and get something and calculate it all down to the last number. So you don't have to be anal about the whole thing. Let's bring the octave back down to a 2. Now, another cool thing is you can go in and change these around. So you've got down the bottom here a little edit, and you can go in and you can move these around and have them all in different order. Yeah, just throw a bunch of numbers in there and see what happens, because that's what generative music is all about too. But let's go through what some of the other symbols mean in relation. So we'll remove this. We'll kill all of these. So to delete them individually, just swipe with your finger. Hey, Gmail, swipe like this, and you'll see the little delete thing pops up, and you can delete. And Semtex Cow, g'day, E Urban. So you can, let's talk about our functions down the bottom here. So we've covered X, we've covered A, we've got here squared. All right, so we could do like X squared, which is going to be, now, which is going to be, of course, squared multiplied. Is squared, yeah, squared is multiplied. So whatever the last note, because we're using X, will be whatever the last note is squared, right? So, and logically, that's going to make sense. So if we go in here, let's add another one. Let's just do an X plus 1, and we'll move this up to the top, like so. Yeah, squared is the number times itself. So whatever it is, if you're using X, obviously it would be the last note that was played up here times itself, right? Times that number. But if you then put it underneath another thing, oops, go in here and then did 2 squared, then that's going to be a completely different kettle of fish. So then we've got also in here our other function is the root. We've got a root note, so we could do X, the root note of X. Of course, we can't do that, so we could go in and do like 25. Where are we? Why am I doing this? Root of X. We could do that. We could do root of 20, whatever you want, which is going to be obviously half. So if we did 5. The root of 5 is going to be 2.25, yeah? So, but that is going to be the last, I think it's the last one, and then halved by 5. I just want to confuse everyone now. Let's add in some repeats. So we'll take a break from our equations and let's talk about these down the bottom here, just so you understand what's going on with these. So we have our rates, and we can slow this right down, all the way down to like 8 bars. Let's just put on like an L tether on here to give it some reverb. So this is very slow, obviously. So we've got it set for 4 bars at the moment. But you can take it up to like half rate. You've got dotteds, triplets, and you can go all the way up to Let's take this out for a second. Now you've also got gating. So gating will take out that sustain. And you can add variety to the gates as well with the variety knob. So you've got gate and variety. So it will vary up the gating. Which gives you even more complexity. Plus we have a velocity along here. So it's currently set to 90 pretty much for everything. But we can add some variety to the velocity. And you're going to get louder notes, softer notes, and sometimes nothing. So you may generate a rest in there as well. And even if you came in here and swiped and then muted this, you've got the ability to create more rests, holds that are random. Now you can add some swing to this as well. Or not. Let's bring this back in, unmute it. And we'll take out the variety here, take out the variety here. Now, if you pull the gate down all the way to 0, you'll get no sound. Absolutely nothing. All right. Okay, so making equations or functions, you can go down. This is where you bring up your calculator. And now, unfortunately, the calculator doesn't work with using like an external keyboard. You have to punch in the numbers here on the actual thing. So the other thing too is, let's get real. If you're an iPad user and you watched yesterday's keynote at WWDC and you're really excited about the calculator, well, guess what? Unfortunately, iOS 18 won't be out until September. But if you're looking for a calculator in the meantime, you've got a handy-dandy little calculator. So this will tide you over. No. But so you can bring up the function to create new functions. You can bring that up down here. Every time you make a new equation, it will be stored here in your library. So if you scroll down, you can see all these ones down here that I've just made today have all been stored. And I think, and you can star them, you can favor them if you like them. If you go, hey, I really like this one, you can hit the little favorite and it'll keep them in your favorites over there. Yeah, so it's really nice that it remembers them because you may come up with something that you really like. Here is your edit screen where you can, so when we click down here, you can move these around, move them into a different order, all that kind of stuff. We showed you the clear button. This will just clear them all out and you can start again. All right, let's go back into our functions and talk about the last two, sigma and pi. So in here, sigma, when we use sigma, what it is it calculates. So say we have, let's just do, say, sigma 2. It will add the last, what is it? So you've got a memory, a backup memory of all the notes that are being played previous of up to 64 notes. So it'll take the, is it the last two? And then it will add them together. Whereas pi will multiply them together. So it'll be think about it, the last numbers, and it'll add 2. It'll plus 2. Is that right? I think it's right. I can't remember. I hate doing these shows, man. My brain just stops working always. Whereas pi will be multiplying. And we'll go through and look at the tutorial so you can see where it's explained in there as well too. So we could do like a pi 5 minus 7. Well done, Audible. Let's add that in there. Change. Look at these great equations I'm making here. Now, from time to time, I am right? Yeah, I am right. Thank you. Now, from time to time, you may get stuck in a loop. It can happen. You'll get stuck in a loop and for a short amount of things. Let me show you how you can get stuck in a loop. I'll give you an example of that. Oh, also, too, if you're using this in like Logic or here in AUM, there are no presets. Sure, it remembers. So when you first open it, you will have a bunch of these equations to play around with, right? There's a bunch of them that are pre-made for you. And everything you make further on, I think it goes up to here. These are what you get up to here, right? So all these are available for you to use up to pi 5, this one here, and everything else here I've made, okay? So everything else I've made here. You don't get any presets, but say in AUM, you can save a preset, right? So you can go in here and create a preset in AUM and say, yes, I like this one. We'll call it AUM demo, right? And then save in AUM. And now I can come back to this in AUM, yeah? The same thing works in Logic. So you would have to save it within Logic. Okay, so there's that, just so you know. Hey, Mr. Smith, I know it is hectic. You have to be smart and stuff. So this is where I fail. All right, so we've saved this. Now, why is it good to save presets? Because I can now open another version of this over here, of FuncBud, and now I can just go to my presets, and I have this sitting here, this AUM demo, and you are able to have 2 versions of this and send them out, and then make some slight alterations to the second one. You know what I mean? Hopefully you're getting that. Let's just kill that for now. But let's talk about looping and how things can loop and get a little bit like it depends on what you've put in, how things might start repeating. So let's delete this. And we'll start off by doing a function of just an A, which will be the root note by itself. And then if I do like, let's do a function x plus 1, done. Let's hit play. So it's just going to go back, right? So let's do another function. Let's do an x plus 3 and try and throw it off. Hang on, get it right. X plus 3. And we'll try and throw it off. Well, it's not going to get thrown off, is it? Why? Because every time it finishes a run here, it's going to go back to A, which is always the root note, no matter what, always this C4. So this is how you can actually start building a pattern of chords. Yeah, so we can go in here and put, let's do a x, I don't know, times 2. And you'll see it's just going to keep looping. So how do you get around that? If we can go over here to settings, and there's a section here that says detect and avoid loops. And you can decide the number of repeating notes before it tries to change things up. So we've got 3 notes there. So now if we hit play, is it going to work for this? Or have I got it locked in 2? There we go. So see how we've got 4 notes being played, and I changed this up here to detect and avoid loops, number of repeating notes. So once it repeats the notes 4 times, it's going to try and add in an extra note. So this is a great way to keep a stable pattern of notes, but every now and again throw in an odd one, right? So there's that. And we've gone way past our halfway point. So let me do this. We have to run our ad every day at the halfway point of the show. We run an ad. It's a little bit late today. Remember, 42, that's what it is. If you'd like to avoid the ad from YouTube, you can become a YouTube Premium subscriber or just skip the ad and come back. We'll wait for you to do so. The ad has been run. And while we're waiting for people to come back, let's just quickly jump over to my bizzo here and let you know what's coming up. Tomorrow we're taking a look at Dead Kitty. Dead Kitty. It's a modern take on a British metal high-gain pedal from Aurora DSP. And Thursday in the US and UK, Friday here in Australia, we have our interview with creator Kathy A. Ogram, who is a wonderful clarinet player. She's coming on. Man, her life story is very, very interesting. I'm very excited to have Kathy on. So that is happening this week. Keep your eyes peeled for the rest of the stuff that's coming up this week. They will be up. As I said, Walk With Me will be happening too. I'll be filming that this week. Let's get back over here. Boom. All right. So we covered Sigma. We covered Pi. We've covered all of these now. So the thing is really to just start making some stuff, isn't it? Now, so you can have parentheses in here as well. Now, parentheses in an equation, from my memory of school, it's been a while, is within the equation, whatever is within parentheses makes that the forefront of the focus or of the equation, I do believe. So we can do like 5 times 4 divided by x squared. And you can see that's going to be the focus of this, yeah? So let's throw that in there and hit play. Now remember, you can vary things up as well by adding multiple repeats. Now, if I really want to change shit up, remember, we are constantly coming back to this A, which is constantly bringing things back to the start. I could go in here and add a brand new function, use an X and say X plus 4. And then edit this and then bring this X plus 4 to be the top of the chain and edit. Right. Now, this may get a little bit boring, and you may be like, oh, you know, but I want it to be more varied. I want it to do more stuff. Again, this is where you can add rests in here. So we can mute that one out. We can go in and change our loop functions in here. Make it 4, 5. We'll change it there. We can decide to turn off, enable calculation on mutes, or we can turn those off. You know, so you're able just with this one to go in and get some variation. Now, as usual with Cem's apps, you can create patterns as well. So, and you can set the patterns to a CC number. They're always set to 10. You can have MIDI out, choose a MIDI out channel, a MIDI in channel, all that kind of stuff. There is a tutorial which will open up as a standalone. Open the app in standalone. You can manually trigger with MIDI as well. So if we turn this on, here you've got all these options. So you can hold the MIDI triggered note, don't use the sequences run gate, preferred MIDI velocity. So you can actually use a trigger with MIDI as well. You can transpose with MIDI also. So you can go ahead and do all of that as well. I'm just going to go back here and create a pattern. So this is our first pattern. We can go in here, hit the plus down the bottom, and it will recreate what we've got up here. But I want to change that. So in here, I'm going to go up and pick this show demo. And now we have two. I shouldn't have done that, should I? That was dumb. Dickhead. Hey, we'll come back and do this. Dickhead. Anyway, this will do. This is still cool. Let's come in here. We can add a new pattern. Let's just mute this one out. And now we can go in and we can change the rate of this. Does it work for the rate as well? Yeah, so if we change, you can see already changing between 1 and 2 changes the rate. We could go in here and change this to it's -9. So it's a little bit different. Then we can add in another function. Let's just do 54 minus 9, just for the fun of it. And now when I bounce between these two patterns, we have different looks going on. Let's bring this pattern in here. And we'll make this one unmuted. And we'll change the root note to an A. And you can see bouncing between them are going to give you different. So let's hit play. So you can have a whole bunch of patterns. You can, change the velocity. Pattern 2 can have different velocities. We can change the gating in here and the variety. Same with the, we can put the variety up here for the velocities. So you'll notice a difference definitely when you bounce between them. But the beautiful thing is with this is you may think, all right, well, that's cool. I like that, what I've created, that sound. Well, you can create multiples of these as well. So if we go in here, let's just save this now. We'll save a new one. Just call it blah. Call this one blah. We love blah. It's easy. So there's blah. And we've got our first piano. Then we can come in here and open up a new FuncBud, give ourselves a new instrument, say, I don't know, a cello maybe, and we can send this over to a cello and go in here and make sure we load up our blah preset, and we can slow this rate down. So we can go in here, slow this rate right down to like a bar maybe. Now you'll notice it's missing a whole bunch of the notes because the cello, the minimum octave won't play that low. So I've got to come up here and change the octave for this one in particular to like a 4, between a 4 and a 5. Now, whatever scale we're in, so we're in a C major, so I can just pretty much load up a whole new FuncBud because we're in a C major. We can even use what's already in here, pre-populated, because it's in the same key, it's in the same scale, it's all good. We could send this over now to our new guitar in here. because we can set the triplets, we're getting that skipping guitar, which is going to go in well with a drum. Hey, Joe. But also, so you don't have to, here's the thing too, don't get like, you can use other bud apps, you can use other things, you can use Scalar, you can build up, you don't just have to use all FuncBuds, right? This is the thing, like the FuncBud can be used as just a pattern in amongst other stuff, right? And you can control all of these with Cem's other app, which is BrainBud. So if we go over here to BrainBud, and send the outputs of BrainBud to all three of these FuncBuds, not that one, this one, then now from BrainBud, as it is playing, I can change the key and all of these will change. I'll show you. Let's just open two of them. So you can see the scales. I can now change the key to a D and hit done. And now we're in the key of D. I can change the scale from here and all of them will change as well. So you see here all the scales have changed together. I can choose at random. Or I can bring them all back to a major. So pretty damn cool. And the whole calculator thing is really rad. I think it's awesome. And you can add as many of them as you like, right? So with this one, we can just go in here. Let's just grab a whole bunch of random stuff from here. Just keep adding them in. Douche. What's some of the ones I've already done? We've got this one here. One is 2. And you can add as many repeats as you want. So basically what I did down here with BrainBud was I just created 5 patterns and randomized each of them. So now with a CC10 click on the external keyboard, or just by clicking through, we can change these scales up on the fly. And this is changing all of these, yeah, all 4 of them. heaps and heaps of fun, especially when used in conjunction with other apps. Like this is just an example of just FuncBud. So don't get too upset and be like, hey, see you later, Semtex Cow. Don't get too upset and think, man, fucking, I have to use multiple of these to do, to get something interesting. No, you could just use one of them and then put in a scaler and have a whole orchestra of stuff, and then just throw in one of these to create some randomness. So just another interesting way of creating generative music, which is awesome. Okay, we are out of here for the day. I think we've covered this. Get the idea. Head over to the price again. It is $5.99 on the App Store. Add it to your collection of Bud apps. There's so many of them. It's fantastic. If you didn't know, let's jump over here. You can see all of Cem's Bud apps here. Look at them all. FuncBud, Kebab, Auto Fills, Drum Fill Generator, Muse Bud, Bounce Bud, Auto Bass Bud, Bud, Brain Bud, In Theory, Binarhythmic Rhythm Generator. So many buds, it's ridiculous. You can, if you're lonely, you've got all the buds in the world to keep you not lonely. Boom, good stuff. Thanks, Cem, for hanging out with us today and all the stuff and things. Let's get out of here. We got a featured artist. Let me come over here, bring the right camera up. We've got a featured artist today. It is, who is the featured artist? I've forgotten. It's too early. Oh, yeah, it's Lizarday. Lizarday is our featured artist today. She dropped a brand new track called BFF. We're going to play that one to get out of here. Tomorrow we're taking a look at Dead Kitty. We're going to make some metal with Dead Kitty. And tomorrow's featured artist is somebody you've probably never heard of before, which is cool. All right, let me cue this up, get it all happening, ready to fucking go. Remember, folks, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together and stay awake. This is BFF by Lizarday. Let's ooh-ja.
You and me, we've got a special energy. Hey, we're laughing at things that no one else can understand. It's our thing. Suddenly, the air feels better just knowing you are my friend. You and me, we're like a secret handshake. It's weird, but wonderful. Finishing each other's thoughts. Yeah. Look how we've been through thick and thin. Dynamic, my best friend. My confidant, partner in crime. We've seen some things. Hey, it's been a while since I've seen your face. Isn't it wild how the years have flown? After everything we've been through, me and you, we stick together. My confidant, partner in crime. and rough